Hey everyone, in this video I'm continuing on with my Conan Dark Horse Comics coverage with Conan Volume 6, The Hand of Nergal. The Hand of Nergal was originally just a fragment, an unfinished piece of a story written by Robert E. Howard, but now we will see that fragment expanded into a full-fledged storyline here by Timothy Truman. At the end of last volume, Conan, he did a job for this Prince Murillo guy, and he was given a horse and some coin, and he was leaving the city. So now in this volume, we will see Conan. He will travel east. He will eventually go to the city of Yaralet, which is being overrun by a zombie army of the undead. We will also have some sort of sorcerer trying to conjure up a demon, and we will have a beautiful princess and various political intrigue as well. All right, let's dive into it. Volume 6, The Hand of Nergal. Conan Volume 6, The Hand of Nergal. Written by Timothy Truman, art by Tomás Giorello. This volume covers Conan issues 47 through 50, published by Dark Horse in 2007 and 2008. Conan issue 47, The Spawn of Nergal. For the last few Conan volumes, we were in the region of Zamora. We will now finally go east to the region of Turan, to the city of Yaralet. The citizens of Yaralet are currently being terrorized by zombies. Zombies of Nergal, the god of death and damned. These zombies are children of Nergal, the souls of fallen warriors from every age, refashioned as demon flesh, drawn through the ichor between the worlds and spit from the death god's realm. These zombies travel through the city. They seem to be taking orders by some sort of zombie knight on a horse with glowing red eyes. He points and the zombies head in the direction. The zombies kill many of the citizens, but some of them do manage to hide away. In the city of Yaralet, up in the Tower of Atalis, we see some men talking. Two of them we met last volume. One of them is Master Atalis. He is a sorcerer and philosopher. Last volume he collected the body of Nestor the Gunderman. His servant is Tilbar, whom we also met last volume briefly. They are talking with Than, who is the Prince of Yaralet. The prince's father, King Dorn, has died recently, so the prince will soon be crowned king. The prince is also due to get married soon. He is going to marry the beautiful princess of Koth, known as Oreshka. It is an arranged political marriage. Still, Than is very much looking forward to it. Although he speaks with his advisor, Master Atalis, and he is not pleased with the army of zombies rampaging through his city. The prince tells Master Atalis, "You are as mad as my father warned, Atalis. How can Oreshka and I be married now with this horror stalking Yaralet's streets? You assured me that terror would end by the day the princess and I were to be wed." Atalis responds, "Oh, and so it shall. All will be well, my lord, you will see." The prince confides in Atalis and says, "You know the truth of it, Atalis. Father was a great ruler, loved by all, and by none more than me. However, I tire of ruling in his shadow. I am lord of Yaralet now. My land will be strong again." Atalis to this answers, "So it shall be, my lord, beyond your wildest dreams, just as I promised you, and just as the stars have promised me. The terrors of the night hold no power over you, or your beloved. Believe this." The prince, a little fed up, responds, "I believe only that your life depends upon it, Atalis. I've sent my army to meet Oreshka at the river. I ride now to make sure that all is ready. Farewell." As the prince leaves, Master Atalis speaks with his servant, Tilbar. Tilbar questions, "Master, could he have learned?" Atalis answers his servant, "I think not, though he yearns for it to be otherwise. The man is hardly his father. Now leave me, Tilbar, there's much to prepare." So it appears that Prince Than is putting his trust in this Master Atalis, even though he knows that this Master Atalis has some dealings with the dark arts. And even though they have come to some sort of agreement, Master Atalis seems to have his own secret schemes. When Atalis is alone, he removes the robes, revealing his scarred arm. Atalis then murmurs to himself, "Soon the curse will be over, and the young fool's aid. I will be free." A league away on the banks of a river, Lord Than's soldiers polish their armor. They are awaiting the entourage of Oreshka, the Princess of Koth. While the soldiers wait, they are visited by Conan. After Conan's adventures in the Rogues in the House story arc last volume, he apparently decided to travel eastward. And that is where he has come upon these soldiers. Conan is riding the same horse given to him by Prince Murillo. Conan speaks to the soldiers and says, "I smell meat and bread. Is there room at that fire for a traveler? I'm hungry." A man named Bakat greets Conan, saying, "Stand where you are, outlander. I am Bakat, commander of the army of Yaralet. How did you slip past the pickets?" Conan answers, "It's no great feat getting past city men. Now, how about a joint of beer if you can spare it, and a flagon of ale as well?" A man named Strem approaches Conan. He is a big man. He is the champion of the army, their greatest soldier. He tells Conan, "This is a camp for soldiers, boy. Spilled blood and good blade earn a place by this fire. You have no sword I can see, just a little knife. Perhaps your pony can buy you a plate of food. Now where would a northern savage like you get such a fine steed?" Conan answers, "I earned it. Now back away. I seek only a night's rest and some food for my belly." Strem, dismissive, draws his sword and says, "Here is something for your belly, little man." Strem swings at Conan. Conan ducks, and then he uppercuts Strem in the face, knocking him to the ground. Conan then picks up Strem's sword. And then he says aloud, "So it's a sword I need. This one should do well enough." Some of the other soldiers start becoming agitated by Conan knocking down their champion. But Bakat is impressed by Conan's prowess. He tells his men to stand down. Besides, Strem started this game. The stranger can keep the blade. Bakat invites Conan to sit by their fire and eat some of their food. Conan asks the commander why they are camped here. The commander answers, "We've been ordered to meet someone. That's all you need to know." Gods know we should be watching the city instead of this marsh. These are dark times. Evil stalks the streets of Yaralet. I can use a man like you, at least until you give me reason to put a noose around your neck. Conan offers to join them for some coin. He wants to earn some gold, enough to get him north. As Conan and the commander eat and talk some more, they are soon visited by Prince Than. Prince Than speaks with Bakat, and he asks, "Commander Bakat, the princess arrives upon the morrow. I trust that you are ready?" Bakat answers, "Of course, sire." The prince then notices Conan, and he asks, "Where is his armor?" Bakat answers, "He's a new recruit, sire, an ignorant barbarian, but he seems an able fighter. We need such men, do we not? Especially in the city." The prince trusts the judgment of Bakat. The prince then says, "It's ill luck for me to see my bride before our wedding day. Princess Oreshka's safe passage is now your responsibility. And do make sure that your damned barbarian doesn't greet my betrothed naked." After the prince left, Conan eventually made camp for the night and slept. A short distance away, Princess Oreshka's caravan had also camped for the night. The princess had various Kothian soldiers with her and a royal entourage, but amongst them there were two familiar faces to us. Characters we met in previous volumes. There is Blind Jerem, as well as Emiri of Koresh. They previously met Conan in the City of Thieves. Emiri has some sort of precognition and magical abilities. And when she met Conan, she instantly took an interest in him. The interest does not appear to be an attraction, but more so she sees something in Conan's future that she feels she must warn him about. Anyway, at some point, Emiri and Blind Jerem traveled together when they left Zamora, and they met up with Princess Oreshka's caravan, and they now travel with them. Later that night, Emiri finds herself in the princess's cabin. Princess Oreshka says to Emiri, "You interest me, child. How did you and your blind friend come to be with our caravan?" Emiri answered, "We've journeyed far, your majesty. We saw your wagon and thought it a chance to earn a few coppers. Arashka questions further, why do you journey? Where are you going? Aniri answers, we seek a man, a Cimmerian named Conan. An unholy darkness follows him. I have the gift to sense such things. I must warn him. The princess tells Aniri, my child, I've heard rumors of a Cimmerian, a thief. He killed 2 priests in a city to the east. They say he was captured and must certainly have been executed by now. Aniri responds, no, it can't be true. If he was dead, I would know. Later on, in the morning, Conan and the soldiers of Yaralet stand at attention, and they are preparing to meet Princess Areshka's caravan. Conan, he joins the line of soldiers. He stands beside Strem, the champion of the Yaralet army, as well as by Bakat, their commander. Off in the distance, they see the princess's caravan on the other side of the field. Conan, surveying the field, says to Bakat, river to one side, hill on the other, and your army between. A bad place to greet this princess, Bakat. Bakat answers, do you think I don't know that man? Now shut up, and before the commander can speak another word, an arrow goes right through his head, and he dies instantly. On the slope above them, we see a zombie army approaching from advantage, and they surge forward toward the trapped army of Yaralet and the Kothian entourage. Conan, seeing the perilous position they are in, evokes his god's name, Crom. Conan, issue 48, Darkness Rising. Inside the Princess Areshka's caravan, we see her talking to Aniri. She asks Aniri if she thinks her future husband will approve of her gown. Aniri answers, who would not? You're beautiful. Areshka tells Aniri, anyone can look beautiful, Aniri. Do you like this cape? You may have it. Aniri asks, why would you give me such a beautiful thing? Areshka answers, I enjoy your company. You are a special child, I think. In moments we will meet Prince Than's army and be escorted to the capital, and my life will change forever. The life of a queen can be very lonely, Aniri. It would be nice to have a friend in Yaralet. So Areshka is extending an invitation to Aniri to come with her when she is going to become queen of Yaralet. Of course, Areshka and Aniri do not know of the anarchy happening outside the caravan. This zombie army of Nergal's undead are charging them all. Conan is trying to rally some of the troops. Their commander, Bakat, is dead. Even Strem, the champion, seems fearful. He expresses aloud, Mitra's bollocks! What are those things? Conan heroically answers, we'll soon see. He then charges at the zombies. Conan, he kills many of them, but when he looks back at the warriors of Yaralet, they reeled like drunken men. Conan, he saw them hesitating and falling back. Conan, trying to encourage them, yelled, city-born dogs! Stand your ground and fight! Conan continues battling and slaying more of the zombies. Conan asks Strem, does he see the princess's caravan? Strem answers he does, and he points out in the distance to it. Over at the princess's caravan, her soldiers are too being overtaken by the army of the dead. Aniri and the princess, seeing that the zombies are coming, begin to panic. Aniri opens a trunk and tells the princess that she must hide in it. She says, what other chance have you? The beasts surround us. Get in now. The princess does so, and Aniri closes the chest with the princess inside. Moments later, the zombies completely overtake the caravan and tip it over, and they begin mounting it. Elsewhere, back in the city of Yaralet, Master Atalis is praying before some sort of demon named Ella Desnau. It is a hideous green creature with various tentacles and sharp teeth. Master Atalis prays, Hail, Ella Desnau, scion of Nergal, and gatekeeper of thy father's realm. Hail, Ella Desnau, conduit of souls, sower of corruption, messenger between the world and thine own. I, thy servant Atalis, thank thee for the warriors thou hast provided me, for the glory of Nergal. I beg of thee, accept these gifts I bring, and speak well of me in thy father's ear. So it appears this zombie army is from Master Atalis and his praying to this Nergal god through this Ella Desnal. As Master Atalis continues, his servant Tilbar comes in with a brand new batch of dead bodies. These ones from the Priest of Anu's batch that they collected last volume. These bodies appear to be some sort of food or sustenance to this Ella Desnal. Among this brand new batch of dead bodies, one of them is Nestor the Gunderman. Nestor the Gunderman, although dead, seemingly begins to rise back to life. Nestor, unlike some of the other zombies we've seen, did not return back to life due to dark magic from Nergal. No, it is some other dark magic that has made him risen. In previous volumes, the Archmage Tzilis placed a curse on Nestor. Nestor was to kill Conan, and if he refused, he would then die. But even in death, his traitorous bones shall know no peace. And even in death, the magics would make him try and hunt and kill Conan. So that is what is happening to Nestor now. He rises as an undead, and he begins to walk away. Tilbar, the mortician and Atlas's servant, is surprised by Nestor. He is startled by him, and he attempts to stab Nestor with a sword. The sword goes right through Nestor's chest, but Nestor, undead, continues attacking. He knocks Tilbar to the ground, and then he grabs that sword, and then he walks on. As an undead, he walks on with a curse that is drawing him to Conan to finish what he was cursed to do. Back on the battlefield, Conan and Strem continue battling the army of the undead. Strem gets hit with several arrows in his back, and he falls to the ground. Conan successfully holds up a shield and blocks the arrows from hitting him. As Conan continues battling the armies of the undead, Aniri of Koresh, she crawls out of the princess's caravan, and she sees Conan in the distance. He is in fact alive. Conan, he continues battling, trying to hold the undead off, but eventually one of the zombies hits Conan with a mallet on the side of his head, knocking Conan unconscious, making him fall into a pile of fallen soldiers. The zombies continue their slaying, and then eventually they see Aniri, and Aniri is wearing one of the robes that the princess gave her. And the zombies, they seem to be under orders to grab the princess and bring her with them, and take her to Master Atalis. When they see Aniri in these robes, they mistake her for the princess. The zombies collect Aniri and then march onwards. Conan issue 49, Flesh for the Gods of the Night. As the zombies stare at Aniri and collect her, Aniri attempts to argue and fight back. But as she stares at the main zombie knight on a horse, his glowing red eyes stare at her. Aniri attempted to avert her gaze from the creature, but she could not. She was transfixed by his gaze. She felt her will slipping helplessly away, like blood swallowed into dry earth. Within the commander's burning eyes lay both madness and oblivion. The commander knight of the zombie army threw Aniri over his shoulder and began to ride off. At first, he ordered his men to strip the corpses and prepare them for gathering. Then, meet me in Yaralet. The zombie army then, to announce their victory, blow horns in triumph. And leagues away, in the city of Yaralet, the horns are heard. Master Atalis tells Prince Than, "Do you hear the trumpets, the sound of triumph? The deed is done, Lord Than. The compact is sealed. Soon, now all that is promised shall come to pass." The prince, seemingly worried that he has made a deal with the devil, answers, "I thought I had steeled myself for this thing that we've done. Perhaps I was wrong. Gods help us, Atalis. Was there no other way?" Atalis answered, "The gods did help us, my lord. They help us still. The scriptures of Skelios tell us, the gods grant no blessing without the shedding of blood. We must find strength in that painful truth." The prince replies, "What I have done for Areshka, to forge the empire you've promised, and to rule it with her forever. Are you sure she is safe?" Master Atalis answers, "Your promised bride is unharmed, Than. Soon she will be within these walls." The prince asks, "But my army? Surely I've betrayed them." Atalis to this says, "You are a king now, Than. Act as one. What other purpose have soldiers but to die as benefits their liege? Their souls and blood will feed new hosts, a terrible deathless army that will expand your new kingdom. Hear me, Lord of Yaralet. Before the year is spent, your name shall become the greatest of the age, even greater than your father's. The throne of Yaralet will straddle the world entire. The whole of the sky shall form the roof of its dominion. The coming night shall be long. In the morning an eclipse will darken the sky yet again, and the Hand of Nergal shall rise. It is then that you and your bride shall be wed. When the rites are done, Than of Yaralet will be immortal in both name and body. You will see. Yes, soon you will know." Back on the battlefield, among the many dead soldiers, Conan still lived. A bird that was feasting on the dead bodies began to peck at Conan, and Conan knocked the bird away, saying, "Crom, look elsewhere for your meal, bird." The army of Yaralet was crushed, and all Conan had to show for the day's bloodletting was a throbbing skull and the deep wound in his thigh. Amongst the corpses, Conan looked for trinkets to scavenge, but he found nothing of value. Conan then noticed the Princess Oreshka's wrecked wagon. He figured maybe she would have some valuables for him to take. He looked in the caravan, but there was nothing of value there. Conan even saw the trunk that the princess hid in thanks to Aniri earlier. The princess was no longer in there though. Conan did find some of her fine silks though, and he took some. He would use them as bandages for his wounds. Conan in the mud noticed a trail of someone crawling away. Conan, he followed the trail, and he found the Princess Oreshka, naked, passed out in a nearby marsh. Conan studied her. There was much blood. She was hurt badly. She was still barely alive, though. Conan, he thought that he should end her pain. He raised his sword and was prepared to kill her, but he decided against it. He carried her carefully back to the wagon. Conan, he wondered, who was this woman? A slave, perhaps? Some handmaiden to the princess? Conan, as he wondered, he said aloud, "Damn me for a fool, girl. What am I to do with you?" Conan, he continued to think. He could leave her here for some shepherd or guardsman to find. Aye, and if those creatures decided to return? Conan's thought was interrupted by blind Jerem, who managed to avoid the battle and save his life. Blind Jerem, when he hears Conan is near, says, "Set, take me, I know that bellow. Cimmerian, is that truly you?" Conan, happy to see this old friendly face, says, "Ah, I remember you. Eyeless Jerem you're called. You're far from the city of thieves, old man." Blind Jerem replies, "Oh, you left a hard trail, barbarian. Though the king plucked my eyes from my head long ago. An old spy like me never forgets the talent." Blind Jerem then senses the woman nearby. He hopes that it is his friend, Aniri. He asks, "Aniri, child, is it you?" Princess Oreshka now awakens, and she answers, "No, I am Oreshka, niece of Strabonus, the Lord of Koth." Blind Jerem recognizes this woman as the princess. Blind Jerem, he then speaks of Aniri. He fears that the zombies have taken her, or perhaps even done worse to her. Oreshka, thinking on it, says, "My clothes. I remember now. I gave the poor child one of my capes. Mitra, help her. Did the beasts mistake Aniri for me?" Conan asks who this Aniri is. Blind Jerem answers, "Surely you remember the starveling who did magic tricks in the town square? You once thumped 2 men who set upon her. She never forgot that favor, my friend. It is she who insisted we follow you. Her magic is not all sham and sleight of hand. It seems a vile darkness nips at the Cimmerian's heels, she always said. She wouldn't rest until she found you. She wanted to warn you." Princess Oreshka adds, "Aniri hid me and forced me to that trunk, just as the creatures surrounded the wagon. I owe her my life. I will do what I can to find her. I must seek out Lord Than, my betrothed. If he's safe, perhaps he will help us find this girl. As they all talk, Conan eventually tells them to quiet. The zombies have returned. The zombies seem to have returned to collect some bodies to take with them. Conan tells blind Jerem and the princess, "We'll not give the bastards 3 more to carry. Come, the river leads to the city. Even if they see us, those big war horses won't be able to follow through the mud. We'll find this lord of yours. He might even pay to know you're safe. And while we're at it, maybe we'll learn where they've taken this Aniri girl too." Back in the city of Yaralet, in the Tower of Atalis, the zombie commander reveals the girl they took. When Atalis sees her, he is disappointed. That is not the Princess Arashka. This is some random girl. Atalis yells at his zombies, "Fools! You've damned us all. The master will blast us to hell." Atalis turns to the demon Ella Desnau. He tells him, "Please, my father, forgive me, I pray. By the stars and the darkness, give me time to right this mistake." Atalis was worried that the demon would punish him for not bringing the princess here. However, Ella Desnau remained still. The punishment that Atalis expected did not fall. Finally, Atalis remembered. Of course, the scrolls did not dictate that the bride be of royal blood. No, they were concerned with a different quality. Atalis then turns to Aniri and asks, "Tell me, girl, are you untouched?" He wanted to know if she was a virgin, and she is. Atalis then, speaking aloud, says, "You'll be examined all the same, though the princess's participation would have lent certain satisfying irony. All the spell casts for is a virgin. Physician, attend to her, and while you're at it, clean her up a bit." So Atalis is clearly preparing for some sort of ceremony. And he wanted the Princess Arashka for the ceremony, but all the ceremony really required was a virgin woman, and that he has. Conan issue 50, The Hand of Nergal. Conan, blind Jerem, and Princess Arashka make their way to the city of Yaralet. They approach Prince Than's palace, but there's a trail of blood and all of his guards seem gone. Conan, inspecting the blood, asks, "What sort of ruler lets his people fall prey to such evils? Perhaps you've made a poor choice for a husband, girl." Princess Arashka answers, "I didn't choose him. Our marriage was decided for us long ago. Still, Than seems to be a good man." Conan responds, "And I say that a king who can't protect his own is no king at all." They enter Prince Than's palace, and they make their way through it. And then eventually they find the prince there. The prince is surprised to see Arashka there, but he seemingly seems happy to see her. Prince Than explains, "Oh, you startled me, my love, that's all. It's unwise to enter the city at night. There's danger about. Where are your guards?" Conan, not liking what he is hearing, asks, "You know there is danger and still you sit in your room?" Conan and the prince argue. Conan believes the prince should be doing more to protect his people. The prince recognizes Conan. He was with the commander Bakat's army earlier. The prince asks Conan where Bakat is. Conan answers, "Dead, along with the rest of your army." The prince seems surprised to hear this. He replies, "What? All of them? Can't be. Atalis promised." Princess Arashka asks Atalis, "What part does he play in this?" Prince Than leads all of them with him. He says, "We'll both know that truth soon enough, Arashka. You have my promise. Until then, know that what I've done for us and for my kingdom. Come now, Atalis has much to answer for." Over in the tower of Master Atalis, Aniri is being drugged with various powders. They are preparing her for whatever ritual awaits. They then bring Aniri to Master Atalis, as well as Ella Desnau, the demon scion of Nergal, the dark god. Master Atalis begins saying some sort of incantations before the demon. He then has the drugged Aniri brought closer, given to the tentacled creature. And then Atalis tells his men, "Go, bring Lord Than to me." Conan, blind Jerem, Princess Arashka, and Prince Than make their way to the Tower of Atalis. Conan butchers some zombies along the way. They make their way through the tower, and eventually they arrive at Atalis' star chamber. There is a large oak door that stands in the way. Conan, he bashes it down with pure force. Finally, they are all in one room together. Elda de Snell, Atalis, Conan, and the rest. Prince Than, when he sees what Atalis is up to, says, "This is madness." Atalis responds, "You pleaded for glory, Lord Than, immortality, yet you pretend to be shocked by the means I use to grant your desires?" Atalis then yells to his servants, "No matter, the game is mine, the players have gathered, our pact with my master is sealed. Take them." A battle ensues. Conan slays various zombies. Prince Than attempts to reject what is happening, but then his eyes meet the gaze of the zombie knight, whose glowing red eyes seem to hypnotize Than, leaving him unable to resist. Master Atalis asks the demon Ella de Snell to assist him. The demon with his tentacles manages to subdue and grab Conan and Princess Areshka and some of the others. Atalis then has Prince Than laid out on a table, and with the sun beginning to rise and being able to be seen at the top of the tower, it is time for Atalis to begin the ceremony. Atalis, with some sort of ceremonial dagger, strikes it into Princess Than's chest. He then cuts out the prince's heart and holds it in his hand. He then says aloud, "Hear me, prince, as your departing soul is spooned into Nergal's waiting maw. All I have done, I did not do for you. I did it for me. Behold, the dawn has become darkness. The hour that Nergal promised has come to pass. Atalis, the cripple, shall become new flesh." The sun in the sky appears to go behind the moon, forming an eclipse. Atalis then throws the prince's heart aside, and then, with his dagger, he stabs into his own chest, and he rips out his own beating heart. Conan, not believing what he's seeing, says, "Crom." Atalis, with the last moments of his seeming life, says some more incantation shit, and then with his own heart in his hands, he places it in the prince's chest. Prince Than then seemingly returns back to life, only he has Atalis' heart in his own body, and it appears that Atalis has seemingly taken over Prince Than's body. Atalis then, through Prince Than, says, "Praise the master, I am new. Come, princess, will you not embrace your lover? I believe you will find him much improved." Prince Than then grabs Princess Areshka. He says aloud, "While I prepare his kingdom here, my master would sample the pleasures of this plane. Thus, I must send to him a virgin bride, just as he has required of me." He then pins Princess Areshka down and holds a knife over her. He says, "Why do you cry, Areshka? In his dark realm you will live forever, lover to a god. One small cut and you will know his caress when you feel his sweet flesh press against your own. Tell him that Atalis is grateful." While all this was going on, Aniri of Koresh, who was lying on one of the stone slabs in the room, she awakens. She then begins to glow in some sort of magical light. Perhaps the god of thieves and trickery had heard her prayers after all, and are assisting her now. Either way, the magical blinding light coming off her body distracts most in the room. Conan uses this distraction to get free from the demon. He manages to stab the tentacle that is keeping him subdued. Conan, now free, fights his way and frees the rest of his allies. When Atalis, in Prince Than's body, sees what is happening, he yells, "Fools! What I have done cannot be undone. Kill the savage and the old man, but leave the woman alive. The master will have his bride, and I will have my kingdom." Conan and his allies are not out of the woods yet. The zombies continue to close in on him, as well as the main knight zombie with the glowing red eyes, who speaks to Conan directly, saying, "Look upon me, human, gaze into my eyes, and be damned." The hypnotizing gaze slowly seems to start affecting Conan. The knight taunts him further, "Yield, savage! Let your will flow into mine. Go ahead, plead to your god for aid. He will not heed you." Conan seemingly manages to break free from the hypnotism. Conan then answers, "Bastard, I need no help from Crom." The knight, unsure of how Conan broke his gaze, replies, "Impossible!" Conan, he smirks, and then he stabs the knight with a sword through his head, killing him. As Conan studies the body of the dead knight, he is all of a sudden surprised by a familiar face. The zombie Nestor the Gunderman walks in the room. Conan, shocked, says, "Nestor? Gunderman? Is it truly you?" Conan thought to himself it was not possible. With his own eyes, Conan had seen him hanged. With his own hands, Conan had murdered the priest who had caused his death. Yet, here he was. As Iniri looked at Nestor, she made a sudden realization. The taint of arcane malice that had followed Conan out of the city of thieves, the danger that shadowed the Cimmerian's heels, the one that she was following Conan to warn him about. Well, it was not Conan who had been cursed, it was the Gunderman, and that is what she sensed all along. Nestor, holding a sword in his hand, is seemingly frozen momentarily, just staring at Conan. Atalis in Prince Than's body says, "Mindless fool, what are you waiting for? Kill him!" Conan was not sure what was happening to his friend. But no matter, he would seek his answers later. For now, it was time to end this. Conan knocked over some oil lamps that set flame to the room. All of a sudden, a fire was engulfing the place. The demon's scion, Ella Desnal, also was caught up in the flames, and it screeched in pain. Atalis in Than's body said, "Ella Desnal, my army, I... Conan picked up the prince and also threw him into the fire, taking him down too. Conan then turned his attention back to Nestor, who was still seemingly frozen in his zombie form. Conan told him, "Nestor, Gunderman bastard, what happened to you? You've looked better." A glimmer of humanity seemed to awaken beneath the milky surface of the dead man's eye. Then, just as quickly, the spark was gone, and zombie Nestor finally raised his sword and began to charge at Conan. Conan was forced to dodge and parry Nestor's swings. They sword-dueled for a while, but then, instinctively without thought, when Nestor swung and created an opening, Conan swung back and chopped Nestor's head clean off. Nestor was dead yet again. Conan, sad, said, "Damn you, Gunderman." Conan, he then picked up the talisman necklace that was fashioned for Nestor by his father, taken from a star that fell from the sky. Nestor previously told Conan that he had no family, and if he did die, he wanted Conan to have this. Finally, Conan and the others leave this tower. They leave the tower and all their enemies behind. They then watched from the Yaralet streets as the Atalis tower burned like an obscene torch, fouling the sky with its smoke. If the fires spread to the rest of the city, Conan did not care. Conan, he had little to show for his time in these lands. A horse, some food, a fresh winter cloak, and an Aquilonian broadsword. Scant reward, but enough to get him north. Iniri and blind Jerem had fared better. Iniri would become the Princess Oreshka's handmaiden, schooled by votaries of Mitra. And blind Jerem would end his days in Oreshka's gardens, telling lies. Oreshka's uncles in Koth wouldn't forget the dowry they'd paid Than. With the prince and his army gone, they'd take this country as their own. Oreshka would yet rule Yaralet. Conan, he begrudged them nothing. Before Conan departed these people, he gave Iniri a gift. He told her, "The princess said that you traveled far toward me." Iniri answered, "Yes." Conan then, as a gift, gave Iniri the talisman that Nestor gifted him. He placed it in her hand. Conan then, on his horse, rode off. He said, "Farewell, Oreshka, treat them well." Conan, he rode on. So much for the East, its cities, its treacheries, its curses, its lies. Conan was finished with it. He was going home, north, to Cimmeria, which is where we will pick up with Conan in the future. But for now, we end Volume 6. Alright, so that was Conan Volume 6. Now, I did not think this volume was amazing. It was pretty straightforward and by the numbers, but still, it was a solid, fun Conan adventure, and I had a good time. I liked the Lovecraftian demon monster thing, the zombie army of the undead. I liked some of the scenes in the beginning with Conan meeting the other soldiers, getting to know the princess and some of the side characters, and I thought everything led to a pretty exciting climactic battle with this Master Atalis trying to do some sort of sacrificial ceremony to do a whole bunch of evil shit. And then we also had Nestor coming back into the story and him getting killed a second time, so that was exciting. And Conan, he manages to save the day and be the hero through his pure badassery, and that was really fun. So yeah, it was a decent time. Not amazing, but totally fun time. I'm going to give this volume a 7.5 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I'll be back in the future with volume 7, where Conan is going to return to his hometown of Samaria after several years of adventuring. So tune in for that to see Conan returning home.